And welcome to Kentucky Brew Reviews. I'm Special K.
And I'm Radar, and today we're going to try the Chocolope Stout. It's the 420 strain Chocolope Stout.
SweetWater.
By SweetWater. And it's got a certain amount of alcohol. I stopped turning the bottle.
6.4.
Yes, 6.4% alcohol. It is
Stout made with terpenes.
with terpenes. Tarpenes? However you say that. It's made with them. Okay, so another weed. I don't want to smell it until you pour it. You better pour that. I want to put this off as long as possible. It's another beer made with weed, and this one is supposedly super duper chocolatey as well. I do want to point out an important fact.
I want to point out that it's the stickiest of the icky.
It says gooey chocolate on the back.
Yeah, the smell is the stickiest of the icky.
There is a fish on the bottle, so it gets an entire pretend point for that.
But it's dead, so
that's okay. It's still a fish.
Just smell it. Just smell it. I mean, it smells like some good quality stuff, you know? If it wasn't a beer.
Beer being the recreational chemical of choice for me, this automatically turns me off. I don't think it's a good choice.
You know, it smells like a little bit like burnt weed, honestly. I think maybe the stoutiness.
Now, there's just so much weed scent. I can't even pull that apart.
Get anything else out. Yeah.
There's so much.
Now, I want to point out that if you enjoy the flavor of marijuana, then you're probably going to love
this. Is going to be the thing for you, man.
If you don't like that dank life,
like
that flavor of the dank, you're not going to like.
Like if you are normally drinking beer and you smell, that smelly smell, and you go, this beer is no good. And maybe you take a sip before you pour it out because you're hopeful.
It's so much stronger from the bottle.
Man.
All right, well, head looks good. So let's be real here. Rear review. Head looks good. You can see through it just a little bit.
Just a little. It's it's almost as dark as that KBS the coffee stout. It's very dark.
Now, I'm not against weed beers if they had the most important ingredient in the beer,
weed.
but it doesn't. So it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
Man,
if it's not going to have that ingredient in it, then why? You know, unless you like that dank life. All right, let's taste it. It's better than the other ones.
Not as strong in flavor on the weed. Like
very bitter. It's quite bitter.
Definitely has some chocolatiness to it, and then the weed comes through real proud. It definitely has a weed flavor to it, which you're not really rescued from. The weed is the aftertaste. The weed is rescuing you from the taste of beer, which is backwards. That's not how things should be. That's incorrect.
It doesn't have a ton of stout flavor. It's just very bitter up front, kind of hoppy, weedy, and then a very tiny bit of maltiness on the back end. But I'm not getting any of those delicious sweet malt, bready, caramely, chocolate creaminess, that you want in a stout. I'm not getting any of that. It's just kind of boring.
It is kind of boring. You know what? Upside to this. There's some upside. If you're one of those people that you haven't really tried a whole lot of beer, but you have smoked a lot of weed. You know that you like weed, but you're not really sure about this whole beer thing. This is ideal for you.
Probably the Mango Kush.
Because it's got some beer elements, and it's also got some chocolatey non-beer elements.
It's mostly non-beer elements in this
which then becomes weed. It tastes like bleh. Yeah, it tastes like skunky beer at the end.
It's not undrinkable. I could finish this beer. My breath would, but I'm not. It's not terrible. It's as far as the stout goes, I just don't think it's a good example.
Yeah, it's not a real good stout.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Price wasn't terrible. I think it was like $11.99 for a 6-pack for a higher ABV stout, especially hemp type flavors.
Hemp, yeah.
That's really not that bad.
I'm going to give it a straight 4. The price is there. It is targeted at a specific audience, and that audience is probably going to be they're going to be okay with it. The stout aspect is kind of downplayed, kind of bleh, yeah.
When I picked this up, I was like, oh great, stouts are very strong in flavor. I was going to say it's really going to overpower those terpenes, that hemp and weed flavor in it.
I mean, it's not a real good example of stout, and it's not really a very good example of weed either.
Yeah, weed beer.
Like, it wants to be both, and it's not doing a super good job of being either one.
Like I said, if you're a fan of the Mary Jane, then you're probably going to like this beer.
Yeah.
But normal stout drinkers probably won't like this beer.
I'm going to go with, if you're going to buy a beer for the hemp flavor, don't get this one. And if you're going to buy a beer for a beer flavor, don't get this one. Just don't buy this beer.
It's a novelty.
It really is a novelty, yeah.
But I mean, the fact that they keep making them means people are buying them. So,
yeah.
And I know we get comments all the time saying that, oh, you guys just don't like weed. We've never said that on the show. We support legalization of marijuana.
Oh yeah, I don't particularly like the flavor personally.
Right, but we support the legalization of marijuana.
But yes, if it's legalized, go nuts, people.
Right.
I don't care.
People think we're square Republicans or something. I mean, sort of. But
I'm like a round type shape, to be honest.
But yeah, so yeah, I can't recommend it unless you really like weed beer.
Yeah, there are weed beers that taste more like weed, and there are weed beers that taste more like beer.
Yep, that's about it.
Either side of the spectrum, you're going to do better if you just don't buy this.
All right, well, that's been our episode. If there's something you'd like to see on the channel, you can leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. And check us out on Patreon, Facebook, and something else. I'm Social K.
I'm Radar.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Nobody ever watches that far.